Good afternoon and welcome to the SwipeClock Solutions Training and Support Resources webinar. My name is Felina McNeil. I am the Trade Show Director and Field Trainer for SwipeClock. Our goal today is to inform you as our partners of the various training and support resources that are available for our products, including TimeWorks, TimeWorks Plus, and Time Simplicity. We would like you to leave here today with the confidence that you know what options are available to help you learn, troubleshoot, sell, and support the SwipeClock services. And we recognize that with so many responsibilities in your business, learning and retaining information on any system can be a challenge, especially if it's not utilized on a consistent basis. SwipeClock has implemented many options to allow for just-in-time feature training and 24-hour self-service support. So what we would like you to take home from this webinar: a better understanding of how to get your questions answered, knowing where to go to learn about specific features when needed, the purpose and role of your CDM or Channel Development Manager, what to expect when submitting a support ticket. Some things that you're going to learn about: the Partner Welcome menu. It has products, training, marketing, and support tabs. The CRM desk, which includes our knowledge base. Ask a question, which allows you to enter a support ticket. My Stuff, which keeps a running catalog of all your open tickets and your archived tickets. And the Idea Exchange. We're also going to talk about the SwipeClock Reseller Association and the SwipeClock Reseller Association Yahoo Group, what it's for and how to sign up for that. We're going to talk about the Solar System, the SwipeClock Online Learning Resource System, and how to get access and how to navigate through that. We're going to talk about help and support from inside the SwipeClock system, client-facing support materials, for examples, how-tos for both TimeWorks and TimeWorks Plus, and page maps for TimeWorks Plus, when you should call on your CDM, and professional service options. And then, of course, step 4 of any proper plan is profit. So, the screen you're seeing now is going to give you a list of places to go, and all of these links will be provided for you in the PowerPoint presentation after the webinar. But hopefully, all of these are things that you can get to really easily for the logins that you already have. So we're going to talk about the Partner Welcome screen. We're going to talk about the CRM desk. Then we'll go look at the Yahoo Groups, the SwipeClock Online Learning Resource. Make sure that you note down your logins for each of these places. Most of them will be the same as your initial SwipeClock login. And if they aren't, like for the Yahoo Group, you're going to have your own Yahoo account for that. If you can't access the Partner Welcome screen, usually this is because your particular manager has opted not to give you access to that. It's worth asking them for permission, but if you can't get to it, you can still see on the left-hand sidebar of SwipeClock the help and support options at the bottom that will allow you to get into most of the things we're going to talk about today. Okay, so the first place we're going to do is the Partner Welcome screen. So you're going to get into this using your standard SwipeClock login. So if you have access to this screen, this should be the first thing that you see when you log in. You'll see across the top products, training, marketing, and support. Just really quick, we're going to talk about what is inside the screen here. So this top section here, right in the middle, where it says Welcome Sample Payroll Company, will show your current partner point level and your pricing level. This will also show you the contact emails that we have on file for you. And as somebody who has access to this screen, you do have access to change those if that person has left your company, for example. The center bottom section, Updates and Enhancements, is going to talk to you about any recent blog posts, updates that we've done, different events that we have going on. So each one of those things you should be able to click into and get some more detail about those individual events. In the top right-hand side, you'll see our rotating banner. This is going to consistently rotate around and let you know about different events that we have happening or different things that we want you to know about, different promotions. Account notifications, in this case, will show you, if you need to change your password, if you have 30-day free demo accounts that are about to expire, and if you have 30-day free demo accounts that need to be contacted. Typically, those will come if you have get a free 30-day trial link on your website. Essentially what that does is it allows the client just to enter in their name and their contact information. It doesn't actually give them access to the system because you have to give them a login. So that's what you're going to see right here in the main body of the partner welcome menu. So again, if you don't have access to this screen, most of the things we're going to talk about you'll have access right through SwipeClock when you've signed in. But let's go ahead and talk about the links that are up at the top. We do have the Products tab. This center section here is going to give you a bunch of quick links that will allow you to order clocks, talk about the Time Simplicity Advanced Scheduling, Time Clocks and Accessories chart. So there's a lot of information here about additional services like the TAP program, professional services, custom scripting, and then more resources on the right-hand side, including the simplified pricing calculator. So if you're doing sales, that might be something that will be handy for you so you can go in with a little bit of a prepared quote for that particular client. Then as we move down inside of the page, you can see that there are links here for each one of the different kinds of clocks that we offer. It'll show you the activation fee and the wholesale price of that clock. This is your cost. Obviously, this is not a screen you would ever show a client, but it does have a product flyer and a manual attached for each of these clocks. So if a client calls you up and says, hey, I just spilled coffee on my product or on my clock manual, can you please get me a new one? You can come right here and download that PDF for them or just email them the PDF. The product flyer is basically sort of like a spec sheet that will talk about the clock and kind of what it does and how it works. So some good tools there for you just to answer some basic hardware questions. So let's go ahead and click on the Training tab. The main quick links here would be the SwipeClock online learning resource. You can also access your how-tos through here. Again, you can learn about professional services. So we do have some things that repeat in multiple tabs just so that it's you can find them in whatever way it's easiest for you. So if we go ahead, well, actually, let's talk about this section here. You do have more resources here, which will give you a timekeeping quick reference guide, which does have some, some questions and things that you can use to start conversations with your prospects about timekeeping. There's a guide for TimeWorks versus TimeWorks Plus so that you can show those clients who may still be on the old platform what they will gain by moving to the new one. There's a feature about scripting. There's also the timekeeping user manual. This is an end user facing manual. It's about 100 pages long, so it's a big download. But if you have a client that really is one of those people that likes to put something in a binder and have something they can take notes on, that is a great PDF to give them. In your communications section, you can subscribe to the SwipeClock blog, subscribe to get our email updates, and to our newsletter. So this is 3 really easy ways for you to get some consistent information from us that it's going to let you know about events that are happening, features that are being released, anything that we have going on goes out on 1, 2, or all 3 of those platforms. So I really do encourage you to sign up for any of those. So let's go ahead and we're going to log into the SwipeClock online learning resource or the solar system. And if I'm already logged in. You have to request access to this. If you're the manager, you can request access for yourself or your employees. If you are a staff member, you would have to talk to your manager to get access to this. And then once you're signed up, you will get an email telling you your temporary login and password, and then you can log in and change those things. Once you're logged in, you're going to see a home tab, the course library, your achievements, and messages. And depending on what courses are assigned to you, those would show up here. So in my case, I've got an implementation specialist one, the sales representative library, and time simplicity training that are still active for me. Now, if I click on my course library, you'll actually see that the SwipeClock new employee quiz was completed. That's why it's not showing on that home tab. So what this allows you to do is you can click into the courses that you're working on. And this is going to give you a whole pile of things like videos, there are recorded webinars, there are little quizzes, there's all sorts of stuff in here to talk to you about the different features inside the system, help you learn them in little chunks. So adding clocks, for instance, is a 1 minute and 24-second video. It's just going to talk to you about how to activate a physical clock. And like I said, you can come back and watch these over and over again. So these are available to you at any time, and you can of course log in from anywhere that you have access to the internet. It doesn't have to be from your work. So lots and lots of videos, lots of good stuff in there for you to learn about the basic features of the system. So if you haven't already received a login for the SwipeClock online learning resource, I highly recommend you send an email either to your manager and have them request it, or directly to your CDM and get a login for that. The Achievements tab is just going to show you things that you've completed. There are several things that once you've completed them, you can download a certificate for those. And then there is a space here for messages. So if you have something coming in from getting a login created or whatever, those will show up there. Okay, so again, that's the SwipeClock online learning resource. You can get to that through the training tab, or if you don't have access to this, just request a login and then you would be able to just use that login to get into the system. Okay, we're going to skip the marketing tab because that really is specifically for marketing and the various marketing tools that are available. So we're going to go ahead and click on the support tab next. And this has a lot of resources for you. In the quick links, you'll see a link to the knowledge base, a link to creating a support ticket, to email this channel development manager or CDM, and order escalated support from professional services. In the more resources section, you have again the how-tos for TimeWorks and TimeWorks Plus, the warranties and policies we have, and then the professional services links will talk to you about the various professional services options that you have. And in these bottom sections here, you have some support resources and how to support your clients, and then how to get support as a reseller. So those are just some things that you'll need to read as you log into this tab. So we're going to go ahead and start right here with the knowledge base. And I'm already logged in. You will need to create a login for this once you initially, on your very first login. We don't care if it's the same thing that you use to log into SwipeClock, or it can be different, whatever works best for you. So there are several links across here that we're going to talk about. You have KBase, or the knowledge base, the idea exchange, ask a question, which is how you enter a support ticket, and my stuff. So let's go ahead and click on knowledge base. The knowledge base is a bunch of articles. Most of them are written by or with the help of our support team so that we can give you really solid answers to your questions. You can see that we have 731 articles in the knowledge base. You can do keyword searches up here, or if you know the ID number of one that you use fairly often, you can actually search for the ID number just by changing your search criteria to all words, any words, the exact phrase, or an answer ID. And then you can sort by when they were last updated, what's their category, or what's their subject. Then, of course, there's a big long line of categories that you can choose from. So let's go ahead and we'll just put in a keyword here. We're going to go ahead and use scripting. So this is showing you that you are seeing 1 through 10 of 191 articles on scripting. So if you're looking for a specific scripting, you would definitely want to increase your keyword search to include that. So when you're looking at this, the subject is going to tell you if it's for TimeWorks Plus, TimeWorks, or Time Simplicity. And so you'll be able to really gauge what you're grabbing there and if it's effective for the system that you're using. So if we look at this, for example, the TimeWorks Plus scripting keywords. This is going to give you a list of the global keywords, the defined operators, and defined variables that we use when we're using the scripting engine inside of TimeWorks Plus. Most of them can use in all scripting boxes, which you get to through the processing rules, but there are some that will only work in certain script boxes. So this is, for those of you who are a little bit more technical and into the scripting side, this is going to be just a really great base article for you to be looking at. Now, if you want to look at something else, like let's say you're trying to troubleshoot something and you're getting a clock error maybe, you can go ahead and put that in. You'll see that there are 54 articles on clock errors. And if you have, more detail again, like no answer or bad RAM, there are specific articles for those. So again, the more details you can use in your keyword search, the better your results are going to be. So this is a place that you can come if your client calls you and says, hey, my clock is doing this weird thing, or I'm trying to have the system do a certain thing. This is a place that you can come to do some basic research on your own without having to enter a support ticket or to call in to us. So this is available to you, again, 24/7. You can get into this, at 2 o'clock in the morning in your pajamas if you need to. The next place we're going to click into is the Idea Exchange. The Idea Exchange is open to anybody that has a login into this system. And what this does is it allows you to come in and if you have an idea for a feature or something that you would like the system to do or that your client is requesting that you can't find anywhere else, you can come into the Idea Exchange, post what that idea is, and then everyone else that has access to the system will be able to come in and upvote it. And you can see here that, things that get a lot of votes get implemented. In this case, time off approvals calendar, this is a new idea. There are already 12 comments on that. It's got 700 points. So that's definitely something that's very of great interest to all of our partners. If that's something that you could use, you would come in here and click it. You can see everybody that's promoted it. You can see the original text that was put in. And then you can see all the comments that have been listed. And if you go down to the bottom of the screen, you will see there's promote, which will add your vote to the upvote list. And then there's post comment, which will allow you to put in an additional comment in the list here. So the Idea Exchange is used quite heavily by our development team and our project management team to come in and figure out what is going to be next on our roadmap. So this is a great place for you to come and be able to put in your 2 cents on what you would like to see us develop within the system. The next link over is Ask a Question. This is how you enter a support ticket for our system. So I'm going to just quick show you how to do this, or what would be the easiest way for us to understand what you're looking at. You have a summary line. What would be best for us is if you put your company name, so your ABC Payroll. You would put your company that you're doing something for, and you can see I actually have entered this once, Joe's Barbecue. I've given the site code, which you can actually see from your client list, and then what's the problem you're having. So in this case, a clock error. So we'll just go ahead and select that. So once you get into the question box, here's what we would like you to do. You could say clock error says no connect. Okay, so that's the most basic thing that's happening. No transmit of punches for maybe 2 days. Whatever is going on. Okay, then the next thing I want you to put in here is what you've already done with the client to see what's going on. So maybe you rebooted the clock, and maybe you tried, this is what happens when you type and talk at the same time. You tried manually transmitting. Still no connect. Called, let's say, the internet service provider. No issues reported. Okay, so that way we know what you've already tried to do with that clock. So we're not having you go back and double dip in the troubleshooting process. If you let us know this is what I've already done, and then let us know the best way to contact you. Typically, they're going to reply to this email and let you know what they need to have done next. If it's really complicated, of course, they can call you. If you are at the client, you would want to say maybe live on site. Need a call ASAP. Okay, and then of course, you put your number so that they know where to reach you. Okay, then down at the bottom, if you have something to attach, like a screenshot or a picture, this is where you would attach that. In choose category, you can just leave it blank, which would be unassigned. But if okay, this is a clock issue, I can put clocks in there, and then put your client's name so that we know who we're working with from the outside, including what's up here in your summary line. And then submit the question. And once you submit it, you'll see your ticket number in bold so that you know that the ticket's been submitted. You will get something in your email, whatever email you have assigned with this particular login, to show you that that support ticket has been submitted as well. Now the next cool thing is the My Stuff tab, because that's where your ticket is now going to sit. So if you need to come in and check on any tickets you have, they would all be listed here. If you've had a ticket that was closed, but you want to go back and look at that solution, you can click on Archive, and it's going to show you all the tickets that you had that have been closed. So if you needed to update your current open ticket, you can click on it. You can update your question. You can put a comment. I'm putting this in here because this is actually a live ticket for my team back there. And I'm going to put on here also that I no longer need an answer to this question, so that this will come out of their log, so they're not trying to deal with this today. So once you've put in a comment, click this box if you need to, if the problem has been resolved, and just submit your update to your question. And so that's going to put my comment on there. Because I told it I didn't need an answer, it's actually now showing my status is closed. But if this issue comes back up, I can come here and reopen my question. So the section with the My Stuff gives you a lot of options on managing the tickets that you already have in the system. And it allows you a full view into what you've got going on. Now, the only things you're going to see in the My Stuff are tickets that you have opened with your particular login. You're not going to see tickets that are opened by anybody else in your company. So just understand that, and hopefully that will give you a good view on what we can do inside the CRM. So again, we have the knowledge base, we have the idea exchange, ask a question to submit a support ticket, and then My Stuff to let you look at your open tickets or look at your archived tickets. All right. Couple other things we want to look at here is going to involve the help and support from inside the system. So if you don't see this screen when you log in, then typically what you're seeing is this, I should hope. Now you can see here under help and support, if you have access to the partner login menu, you'll see that link here. If you don't, that link in the partner point summary link won't be there. But you will have the link to the CRM knowledge base idea exchange, which will take you to the page we were just on. There is a terms of use section that your clients can see. There's also a help section that your clients can see. So if we click on this help section, this is going to open a new tab called How-Tos. And we have these for both TimeWorks and TimeWorks Plus, and you have to be in each system to get those particular ones. So there's a section on the top about page maps, which we are going to talk about. You can see here that there is a keyword search where you can select your criteria, or you can do an instruction search. There's a site menu, which is going to give you the main menu. Then there's maintenance menu, reports menu, settings menu, time cards, timekeeping devices, and time simplicity. And then underneath that is browse titles alphabetically. So if you know exactly what you're coming in to look at, you can come and just find that article, or you can use the search box. So if you wanted to come in and let's say you wanted to look at custom reports. And again, this help menu is visible to your clients. So this is all something that if you are walking a client through something, you can actually give them these articles. So if we view custom reports, this is what you're going to get. It's going to tell you the category and the subcategory, what type it is, and then what the title is. It's going to give you then a step-by-step instruction and screenshots that show you exactly what those steps affect. Okay, and then further down, it's going to give you more steps, more screenshots, and then some further information on that individual feature. So as you're working through the system with your clients, this is going to give you a really big open door into how to do like various daily tasks inside the system. So this is a great, great tool, not only for you, but for your clients to learn how to do things inside the system. And again, you can look at any kind of reports or any type of articles in here that you want. Just use your keyword search and you'll be able to find a lot of things, including things like really basic how to clock in and out. So this is something that the client could show to their employees. There's a ton of PDFs in here that you can give directly to the client if they, for some reason, can't find this. But if we go back into this, I think most of you know when you come into a client list and you pick a client, everything from main menu down is the exact same things that your client sees. So use that to your advantage when you're trying to help train your clients. If they call up and say, well, I'm trying to do this and it's not working. Well, you can log in and say, okay, I want you to walk me through exactly what you're doing. And they can say, well, I clicked on employee setup. Okay, well now theoretically you're looking at the same thing they are. And then if they can say, and then I clicked on Peter and I wanted to do this. how do I get there? You can explain to them, okay, if you want to change his title, you have to click edit, and then you can tell him or her what to put in the box. And then, of course, they have to come down after they've made their changes, and they have to click save inside that individual section. So you can use this as a walkthrough tool. You can use it to just understand a little bit better what your clients are doing as they're trying to navigate the system, and it will allow you to help train them and to help support them really quickly and really easily because you're seeing the same kind of things that they are. And again, like I said, your clients can see the terms of use and they can see the help menu. Now, let's also look up in the right-hand corner. Anywhere in the TimeWorks Plus system that you see this big question mark, this indicates that there's a page map for that page. So if you click that, it's going to give you a pop-up. I'll drag that down into the screen here. It's going to pop up a whole separate window. It's going to give them, a little blurb about the tool. And once they say view, you'll see all these little pins come flying out the side. And when they hover over that, it's going to tell them this is what happens in this page. This is what happens with this particular field, depending on, what it's needed for. And so this is going to allow them to understand really quickly what they need to do on any given page to accomplish something. There's also a link at the bottom right into the how-tos. So if they say, okay, well, this basically told me what I need to know, but I still want more detail, they can click on that how-to link and ta-da, now they're in that how-to article. And then they can see again those step-by-step instructions with the screenshots to show them exactly what they're working on. So this is a really, really great tool for you, not only for you, but also for your clients on how to get around in the system on a daily basis that should hopefully solve some of your basic questions before you ever have to enter a support ticket. Okay, so we're going to jump back into the slideshow. All right, so we've covered everything here. We've covered the partner welcome screen, the CRM desk. We've talked about the Yahoo Group. No, we haven't talked about the Yahoo Group. Let's talk about the Yahoo Group. So the SRA Yahoo Group is the SwipeClock Reseller Association. Anybody who's a partner with us is eligible to be a member of this. If you want to join the Yahoo Group, you'll have to fill out this email me form. This is also in the knowledge base article on the SRA. All you have to do in the keyword is type SRA, and it's going to take you to a knowledge base article that does include the link for this. Once you've signed up, this is where it's going to take you. Okay, so it takes you into the Yahoo group called SwipeClock Resellers Association. You can see this is a restricted group with 193 members, that 3 messages have been added in the last 7 days. You could ask to join the group from here, but it's easier if you just go in and fill out that email me form. And then once you're logged into this, what this is going to allow you to do is network directly with other SwipeClock providers across the country. And some of them have been doing this for a very long time. And this has been one of the most helpful groups I've ever seen to each other. And what happens is you can enter a question that you have about the system or about maybe how people go out and sell it to a particular industry. We've had people ask about how to lease clocks because they've never done that before and they would like to try that as a business model. And they ask, other people, what do you do for an agreement for a lease, for example? And then they'll get real-time answers from other providers across the country. This is how I did it. This is what I charge. This is how my customers react to this. Whatever it is that you're trying to talk about, you have this gateway to all of this knowledge from all of these other partners who've had the same experiences that you have or similar, and that they can help you as you try to get over some of these hurdles and learn things not only about the system, but about how to sell it and potentially how to make it a bigger part of your business. So we really, really encourage you to come into this group to make some friends with these people that are out there doing the same stuff you are, beating the same streets you are, trying to understand how to make their business better. This is a really responsive group, and you may get 7 different answers, but maybe one of them is the exact thing that you've been looking for, and it's not really a SwipeClock technical support question. This is a really great place for you to go to use that. So again, you can go right into the knowledge base and get that link to join, and we will also provide the PowerPoint, which will have the link there. So definitely join this group. You don't have to be a company owner to be in this group. You could be a salesman, you could be a processor, whatever it is that works best for you, definitely join this group. I think you will really like it. Okay, we talked about the online learning resource. You'll definitely want to make sure you note down your logins for each of these places. And again, if you can't see that partner welcome screen, you can still get to most of those options right through that help and support on the left-hand side once you're logged into SwipeClock. And if you don't have access to the partner welcome screen, you wouldn't have these top 3 options, but you would have the CRM, the knowledge base, the idea exchange, the ability to get into the Yahoo Group once you're signed up. The how-tos and the page maps will all have access for you. Okay, so the next thing we want to talk about is when should you connect with your channel development manager. Most of you that have been with us for a while know that the channel development manager used to be called the PDS, and they were essentially kind of your tier 1 support. Their job description has changed a lot over the last year, and they really are trying to help you from the channel development perspective and managing the growth of your business through the timekeeping. What we really want you to use them for is anything to do with sales. If you are going out to see a new prospect and you need some help with setting up your demo so that you can show them specific features, for example, if you have customization questions on your demo setup, call them. They will be happy to help you with that. If you have a client that says, oh, can the system do this thing, and you don't know, call them and ask them. That's their whole deal, is to explain these features to you, what the system can do, and how you can leverage that to sell it to clients that maybe you haven't even approached before. If you get a new sales rep or you have a new processor that needs training, talk to your CDM. They can work directly with your sales rep. If your processor needs some more in-depth training on the operation side of the system, they can set you up with a training session with our corporate trainer. They can help you with support ticket escalation. So if you already have a ticket in the system and now it's in crisis mode for whatever reason, maybe you're at the client, maybe you're trying to run payroll, talk to your CDM, let them be your go-between to go back and work directly with the support tech to make sure that your problem gets solved. If you have any pricing questions, whether it's on the system as a whole, whether it's on hardware, whether it's just you need help with figuring out how to quote this to this particular client because maybe they have a complex setup. Maybe you need hardware recommendations. You're going in to talk to an industry that you've never worked in before, and you want to know which clocks might work best in their environment. If you need help with an RFP or an RFQ, request for pricing or quote, and we love those. We would love to help you prepare those and let you know all the things that the system can do so that you can go in with a really solid RFP response for those groups. If you have questions on any of the new features that are coming out, if you have, if you need some marketing suggestions, that's one of the things that the CDMs are really big on, is helping you figure out how to take this product to your current clients as well as new prospects and let them know that you have this service and what it can do for them. So technical support issues should start with a support ticket, not with your CDM. Use the CDM for escalation if you need the help. But the support desk is the support desk, so let them do their job and let the channel development manager help you develop your business, okay? So the next piece of this whole puzzle is using professional services to fill gaps in your staffing and your knowledge. Professional services used to be client care, so some of you have probably heard of it. Many of you may have used it. So for a fee, we will provide direct client interaction for sales demos on both TimeWorks Plus and Time Simplicity, client implementation for TimeWorks Plus and Time Simplicity, training the client on TimeWorks Plus and Time Simplicity. We are now offering to do migrations for you from TimeWorks to TimeWorks Plus. So if you have a batch of clients that really ought to be moved over because they probably could use time off requests or employee self-service or the mobile app, but you just don't have the bandwidth to move them yourself, talk to the professional services group and let's get those migrated for you. Again, there's a fee for all of these different services, but if you don't have to hire a body to do any of this, we can do it for you, right? We are now offering client direct scripting and accruals. So if you have a client that has a really complex setup and you would rather not be the middleman and trying to interpret what they're asking into what we end up scripting, give it to the professional services team. We will work directly with your client to make sure that that scripting or accruals policy goes the way that they want it to. The typical scripting and accruals fees will apply, as well as an hourly fee from the professional services side. But again, if you don't have the bandwidth for it or it's really complex, this is a value proposition from our side of the fence. We offer extended direct support for solving technical issues where we work directly with the client on their issue. We now offer on-site training for you or your clients on either the TimeWorks Plus or the Time Simplicity product. And we offer a year-end backup. So there are a couple of PDFs attached to this particular slide, so you should be able to get those once you have the PowerPoint presentation. Essentially with professional services, what we're looking to do is if you have a gap in your staff, maybe you had a salesperson and they quit, or your knowledge for a particular type of client or industry is lacking. So if this is somebody that needs a more complex sales demo than you typically do, this is where professional services can fill in that hole for you and hopefully make this a great experience for you. So the last piece of the pie, obviously, is profit. I mean, that's the last step of any plan, right? Time and attendance can and should be a significant revenue stream for you. So by learning your resources, you're going to save time and frustration for yourself and your client. The work is front-loaded, right? The first 30 days for the client going through implementation, training, and their first payroll, those are the focus. And then set it and forget it. Once you've got the features they want in effect, the typical client doesn't need a lot of babysitting. You kick back and, as Bryce would say, let the mailbox money roll in, right? So it pays to learn the system, because if you can do most of the stuff yourself rather than having us work through it every single time, you're going to save time on your end. Your client is going to be happier because you're managing that relationship. And now that you know how to get those quick answers to your questions, whether it's through the solar system or through the knowledge base or through a support ticket or calling your CDM if you need some specific feature help, that's going to save you time and money, and it's going to make your clients really happy. So thank you so much for joining us today. If you have any questions about the resources that have been shown in this webinar, contact us at cdm@swipeclock.com or training@swipeclock.com. And we will be making room at the end of this for a Q&A. So if you have questions, please feel free to send those in now. We'll go ahead and start with a question from Jack. Jack asked, with respect to our staff using the training resources, are you saying everyone in our department can have their own separate logins and passwords instead of sharing a common login and password? The answer to this is yes. For the SwipeClock system in particular, we recommend every single person have their own login for audit trail purposes. I just want to give you a quick story on that. We had a partner who called in and said that they were having problems with one particular employee, and somehow his pay rate kept coming out wrong in there when they pulled the file for payroll. And so we started doing some digging, and we said, well, it looks like whoever's this particular login keeps changing the pay rate. And they said, oh, we have 9 people using that login. So they had no idea who it was that was going in and changing that employee's pay rate, and they ended up having to back pay him over $6,000. So yeah, we do want you to have separate logins, particularly for the SwipeClock system. For the CRM desk, you could have a team login for that if it's important that everybody on your team be able to see all the tickets that have been submitted. So that one can be one that's a whole group. You would just want to make sure that for each person that's submitting a ticket that they let us know, this has been submitted by, Bill, here's my email, here's my direct contact line. I'm sorry? Oh, and then for the solar, they would have a separate, they each would have their own separate one for solar. As the manager, you would actually be able to go in and check their progress on anything that you had assigned to them. Okay, next question is from Lorian. I would love to be able to migrate clients to Plus myself. Is there a tool available for that yet? And the answer to that is yes, and it is so much better than it used to be. You will need to get with your CDM on that. They're going to give you a little walkthrough demonstration, and they will actually walk through the first couple of migrations with you. There is still some manual things that you have to do simply because they're new features inside of TimeWorks Plus, so you have to turn them on after the client's migrated. So there's a little bit of work that you have to learn how to do, but the process is really simple now and the tool works really well. So yeah, talk to your CDM about that. We have a question from Dawn. How will I be able to get the PowerPoint? Everybody that's registered for the webinar will receive a follow-up email that includes the PowerPoint and the webinar itself. Okay, that looks like probably all we're going to get. Thank you so much for attending today. If you do have any questions about the resources shown in the webinar, please contact us at cdm@swipeclock.com or training@swipeclock.com, or if you have your CDM's direct email address, you can mail them your personal questions for your account. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a fabulous day.